The music in the restaurant played gently in the background, something elegant and slow, but her laughter tore through it like a jagged blade. She leaned across the table, swirling her wine, lips curved into a smirk, her lipstick smudged in that effortless, messy on-purpose way she had mastered. Around her, her friends watched with a practiced kind of concern, their eyes full of unspoken amusement, the kind that meant they'd been letting on the joke long before I had. Then came the final blow. Honestly, you should be thankful someone like me even gave you the time of day. She said it loud enough to cut through the restaurant's soft hum. Heads turned. Conversations paused. Her voice floated confidently across the room, leaving me exposed and alone under the weight of her cruelty. Then she stood, graceful, self-satisfied, leaving behind a half-empty wine glass and a silence so sharp it echoed. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I didn't even ask her why. I just nodded, pulled out my card, paid the bill, and walked out with a calm she never saw coming. She thought she'd embarrass me, crush me, left me humiliated. What she didn't realize was that all she had done was set me free. Not long ago, I would have moved heaven and earth for her. She came into my life when everything was falling apart. I just lost my job, my father had passed, and I was barely holding myself together. She stepped into that chaos like a spark in the dark, beautiful, charming, full of warmth and sweet promises of something better. She told me I had potential. She urged me to rebuild, and I believed her. I clawed my way back, brick by brick. I worked insane hours, started a business from scratch, poured my soul into creating something that could stand tall again. Slowly, painfully, I rose from the mess I had been buried in. And through it all, I gave her everything, my time, my loyalty, my love, my trust. For a while, it seemed like she was proud of me. But then the cracks began to show. They were small at first. A teasing comment about how I dressed. A public joke made at my expense, one that stung more than it should have. Her friends would laugh, and I'd laugh too, just to keep the peace. But the warmth in her eyes began to cool. Her kisses turned mechanical. Her affection became something rationed, handed out only when convenient. Her phone was always turned face down. Her nights out got longer. Her excuses got thinner. I stayed quiet, watching. And one night, I watched her get into another man's car. Oddly, it wasn't anger that came over me in that moment. It was clarity. He was everything I wasn't born as. Polished, wealthy, entitled. The type of man she once mocked when we were curled up in bed dreaming about the future. But now she wanted shortcuts. She no longer saw value in the man who had fought to rebuild his life. She wanted access, not effort. Image, not depth. That's when I realized I had only ever been a stepping stone. So I adapted. While she slept peacefully beside me, I mirrored her phone. I traced every message, screenshot every thread, followed every location she tried to hide. I watched the story unfold in cold, time-stamped detail. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I got to work. I shifted my business structure, rerouted my earnings, set up trusts, and bought property with her completely unaware. While she lost herself in weekend getaways and shopping trips funded by the empire I built, I made sure every exit she might one day need was slowly closed behind her. No arguments. No signs. Just quiet, careful detachment. The night at the restaurant, her little stage performance, was her grand finale. What she didn't know was that the lease on her apartment, which I had co-signed, had already been terminated. Her access to our shared accounts? Gone. Her credit card? Set to decline by sunrise. And the man she'd been so eager to trade me for? Let's just say I had no problem sending along detailed, time-stamped records of their joint misuse of my company funds to the right authorities. His legal trouble was just beginning. And her career? An email was sent to her HR department at exactly 9:02 a.m., anonymously, of course, with every piece of proof they'd ever need. GPS logs, screenshots, messages that clashed with her claimed working hours. By 9:15, she was escorted out of the building. My phone rang shortly after. I didn't answer. The text followed. Then voicemails. Then long paragraphs drenched in panic. Suddenly, she was sorry. Suddenly, it had all been a mistake. She said she was just angry, that she hadn't meant it, that we could work it out. I sipped my coffee on the balcony of my penthouse and let the city stretch out beneath me, golden and untouchable. She came to my building later that afternoon, makeup ruined, hair disheveled, shouting my name into the intercom like her world was burning. But the guards had instructions. She never made it past the glass doors. I watched on the monitor as she pounded her fists, begged, screamed. I didn't respond. I didn't gloat. I didn't say a word. I just watched the woman who once thought she was untouchable finally feel the weight of what she'd done. I gave her what she said she wanted, freedom, and took back what she thought would always be hers, my presence. She tried to leave me in a public space, thinking she had broken me. But all she did was awaken a man who no longer asks to be chosen, who no longer waits to be loved. And now, she's the one left behind in silence, wondering how she lost something she never truly appreciated. As for me, I'm already gone. And sometimes the most powerful revenge is peace.